If you're watching this, I'm Malcolm Nance, and this is Black Man Spy Podcast. I am here on, where's my notebook? Here it is. The great Notebook of Destiny, which is keeps track of everything that's going on in the Middle East. Before we start, Jacob Carson, my audio is low. You guys in the chat, let me know how the audio sounds. Right now, we are on day 37 of the second phase of the U.S.-Iran war. We are on day 171 episodes that we have carried out since February 28th, when we started with our emergency episode. Yeah, everybody says audio sounds fine. What, Jacob? It's all you. It's your Danish sensibility. You're going deaf like an old man.
Is this American stuff in my ears?
Made in China. So, as you can guess, because I am not in the blue room and I have the monitor behind me, but I don't have connectivity to that monitor today for some strange reason, I am back in Canada. And the reason I am up here in Canada is because I have to go see my in-law, who is a dentist. I had a crown fall out, amazingly, and he is a very accomplished dentist and orthodontist. And you got to go see family because they give you the family discount, and Canada's 40% cheaper than the United States because of the exchange rate. So very hard to get dentists where I'm at in upstate New York. They never have availability. So to guide us on this journey of adventure today is Jacob Carsbo, Danish intelligence officer extraordinaire, and Wajeeh, the gay lion, coming from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I am wearing Wajeeh's alma mater shirt today from Spy House Coffee in Minneapolis, St. Paul. I went there years ago. You can see this shirt is really old. I mean, I went to Spy House when it was like, I guess, new. And what was I doing there? Was I giving a speech? No, actually, I was doing a security assessment for a major civil organization and had a great time there. And somebody goes, "Hey, you need to go to this place." So I went to Spy House, and of course, I got me the sweater. Wajeeh allegedly has a coffee cup. So we will have to see one of these days whether the Spy House cup makes its debut on this show. But the Spy House sweater certainly has made its debut.
I have to say, I'm good. I had my friend, who's a friend of mine from Saudi Arabia, came by, and he said, Malcolm keep telling you to go to Spy House Coffee. We have to go before I leave. So sure, let's do it. It's 5 minutes down the block. Let's just go. There's like 4 of them now. So we went there, and we entered, and he goes, "Man, everyone looks sus."
Sus. Bitch, all right.
Everyone looks sus here.
Well, you could almost say when we were in Greenland, we lived in Spy House, right, Jacob? Chalet of the Spies?
Chalet of the Spies.
You know what's principally I've noticed about the Chalet of Spies that we have? There's always an outsider. So with you, me, and Greenland and Nook, it was Dean Brundell. He was the outsider. That's an amazing shot. That's out the windows of our house in early morning. And then here we have you and me, and we have this civilian, Wajeeh.
Yeah.
Right? We always bring a civilian to double check our work to make sure it doesn't sound as crazy as it sounds to normal people. So, Wajeeh, somebody says your volume's very high. They blew them from their chair. Or you guys need to turn your speakers down, right? Maybe not you, Wajeeh, maybe the listeners. Who knows? So, good morning from Palm Coast, Florida. Hello, Cheryl. And we've got lots of people. Somebody says, after yesterday's show, I'm going to need my Black Man Spy bear. Yeah, yesterday's show we talked about nukes. I put out the link to my discussion on Mario Nawafal's show where I ranted for an hour and it was straight up ranty McRant face. You
Mhm.
don't talk about nukes seriously. And we've got these idiots in the White House who, on the senior staff, Elbridge Colby, and all these other people that I hope at some point will be held accountable for what they've said and done, who are saying that they are giving the president of the United States options to use nuclear weapons now in Iran because they are meeting frustration and not meeting, and that the previous threshold of the United States must be attacked by a nuclear weapon to respond with a nuclear weapon is wrong, and that people should just attack whenever we want using lower, smaller yield weapons. That's mind boggling. It's insane. So you're lucky you missed that, Roger.
Oh, I watched it with the whole family, actually.
Yep. Several people got
I,
their black
I made the
men.
family sit down. I made my friends come over, and we put it on the big TV, and we all were going like this.
Oh dear.
These people are crazy. And but in good news, several people are saying that they have received their black man spy patches from carforukraine.com. I gotta tell you guys something. I don't make those patches. They are one of a kind, but we're going to be using that model for our black man spy patches. But they're great. I mean, they ship them directly from Ukraine right to us. I made 5 donations. I have 1 patch. So it's like, hey, wait a minute. I want more than 1 patch. So thank everybody who has donated to Car for Ukraine. You can still go there to the Summer Sunshine campaign and donate to that campaign to raise money for cars for the Team Jedi 92nd Division vehicles. We've already have 1, but somebody says, Malcolm, do you have a vendor to make all these products you're coming up with? No, we haven't made anything. We've not made nothing. Everyone's begging us for the Spy Bear and the Black Man Spy t-shirts. I do have someone who is working this issue right now to create a store because there are other things that people want. I have first edition books that are signed that someday after I'm dead and I'm proven right about everything, they may in fact be valuable, but I doubt that. But there are people who collect first edition books.
We never thought Malcolm would die, though.
Is never gonna die. I'm just gonna fade away. You guys will wake up one day and go, how come they're not doing the show number 3,725 of the US Iran war?
Oh dear.
Somebody says, there's a good one. Somebody just made a great recommendation. As you know, we're bantering till we reach 1,000 people, which we just crossed. They said spectacular penetration. There you go, Jacob.
Yeah. Yeah.
Penetrations. That one's going on the list for
Yeah.
t-shirts.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've reached 1,000 people. Wajeeh, can you give us the price of oil? I heard there was a big spike yesterday, but you never know.
Yeah.
Hey.
It went. WTI went $2 yesterday, I believe. So making it 85.18. Today is up 68 cents. Brent crude is 91.23, up 36 cents. Marban is 98.20, up 50 cents. And OPEC is sitting at 85.43. So everything is very close to each other at the moment.
Yeah. I heard that there was a dollar jump yesterday in the crude. One moment. I have a naughty dog that needs to be recalibrated. Dickens. Venice. There you go. I have a dog. Speaks French. He doesn't speak English. Venice.
Naturellement.
Mansa. There you go. You got to keep dogs from being naughty, right? But the problem is he's my bullshit watchdog, so he howls all the time because every time Trump puts out a tweet, we, we are inundated with bullshit. And with that, does anyone have, Jacob, have you seen the tweet that Donald Trump put out this morning related to the Strait of Hormuz? Can you put it up on your screen?
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I have to confess, I was so busy writing stuff that I didn't see his latest mad. That one there.
There it is.
That one there.
Thank you, Wajeeh, for that. One moment. You guys do that while I wrestle in the dogs of bullshit.
Trump is trying to do his Greenland thing. There'll be like, that Silence of the Lambs thing where he looks over and
Silence of the
and pretends, that he's coming. That he's coming to get them, and it's all this AI generated bullshit. But anyway, we're in for a spate of that, I think.
Yeah,
genuinely, he would have saved us trillions of dollars if he just hired some of Hollywood best directors and actors to just make his propaganda video.
The scene I was thinking about is the "Here Comes Johnny."
Oh yeah, that's
"Here Comes Johnny."
Yes,
that's actually The Shining. So
I was wrong.
A lot on his plate with that. But this is
Here comes,
and we say this literally every day for the last 171 days. This is dementia and mental illness disguised as foreign policy. There's no policy here. It's, somebody said a little earlier, old man yelling at the clouds. This guy going, "We own the Strait of Hormuz." Really? Okay. That's nice. Going to designate it a U.S. territory. The problem,
when your daughter comes to you and goes, "I'm princess," and you're like, "Absolutely, you are. You're the best princess."
You're the bestest princess. The problem is you cannot indulge the fantasies of this old man. You can't. It kills people. What is going on here? Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
While I went after my dog, I left my notebook. So back to the notes. Oof. Speaking of things that are happening that are killing people, in the fantasy U.S. territory of the Strait of Hormuz, a ship that is believed to belong to Saudi Arabia was hit by a drone / projectile in the Omani traffic separation scheme. In the engineering room, it didn't cause any injuries, but it did force that vessel to lose power, exactly like the Iranians wanted it to. The same way. So attacks are still occurring in the Strait of Hormuz almost every day. And this is another interesting component to that. Remember how we were like blasting Iran every night for an attack on a merchant ship? And now it's suddenly stopped.
Yeah.
You guys figured that shit up? I thought we were fighting a war here. And it's like, we fought for 30 some odd days. 20 out of 30 days, we were blasting Iran for every merchant attack they were doing. Now they have been attacking merchant ships every day. ADNOC, Abu Dhabi National Oil Company tankers have been attacked almost daily. And we're doing anything. We don't seem to be particularly concerned.
Even on the days where UAE was sending their planes with billions of dollars of gold. The same days. The same exact days.
It's just like, hey, just want to let you know we appreciate all these, billions of bars of gold, but don't fuck up. Okay, get your ship. Boom. Just a little reminder. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what it's like? It's like paying off the mafiosi, his little payoff. And as you go out the door, he slaps you upside the back of the head and goes, "Don't forget our next payment." That's essentially what Iran is doing, and doing it successfully. Crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz. There actually isn't a lot of news, but there is a lot of discussion. So Yemen.
I have two significant activities.
Tell me.
The Israelis have bombed. You know what I'm saying?
That's the
Malcolm?
third item of today.
Okay, so you're on it. Okay, let's
Not
wait
as
then.
significant as what happened in Yemen this morning.
Okay, go ahead.
Yemen. The Houthis have claimed that they hit the port of Mocha. Jacob, I shit you not. We got to go to Mocha back. We got to be up there on the pier. On the pier, doing gang signs. We got to do the black man spy gang sign. We got to make one up. And
Mocha.
And we got to go there because Mocha is getting bombarded every day by the Houthis. This morning or last night, the Houthis were being resupplied by an Indonesian-owned landing craft, which was a large-scale landing ship. And that ship and 4 patrol vessels that came into port that were supposedly probably going to be given to the government of Yemen. They were Saudi vessels, were struck by ballistic missiles while in port. I have a photograph. Actually, if I could grab my phone, I could actually show you a photograph of the vessel before it got hit and after it got hit. Actually, watch, if you go to E.G. OSINT, that Egyptian OSINT guy, it's right at the top of his page. He has a satellite image of that vessel in port before it got bloated up, and now it is bloated up. It is the LCT landing craft tank. Amir Khan is the name of the vessel, and it is not having a good day. It is burned from end to end and has sunk in the harbor at the pier that they had for offloading landing craft. So that sort of screws things up because now you have a wreck in the one place. So they were apparently bringing supplies down from Saudi Arabia to the Yemeni government forces in Mocha. And because every person in Mocha is a spy for the Houthis, they put ballistic missiles rained down on them and destroyed that vessel and reportedly damaged or destroyed the 4 coastal patrol craft that came with it. So these guys are good at their game. That was the first thing that happened in Yemen last night. The second thing, hey, just Wajeeh, if you just put in, or you, Jacob, you can put in LCT AMIR, Amir Khan, Khan. You'll see the video or the photograph of the vessel. As if we didn't have enough trouble. LCT, landing craft tank, Amir Khan. As if we didn't have enough trouble, the Saudi Arabian refinery, the 3rd largest refinery in the country, Al Jazan, who is the genius that decided to put this on the Yemeni border, has once again been hit by a swarm of drones, with no less than 5 major fires breaking out in the refinery. And these drones appear to have been really focused at the target that they were on. They hit in 5 very specific places, going after the bunkering and the systems that actually refine the oil from. There it is. That's the satellite image of the LCT import. That's that red object down there. That was the LCT Amir Khan. And there's 2 patrol boats right up above it. And not having a good day. And then you'll see there's video of what was the LCT Amir Khan. That ship had a very, very bad day. It was Indonesian registered, but it was apparently moving equipment. Yeah, I think if you go to the right, there it is. Fire. No, that's just after it got hit. If you find the image of this morning, you won't even recognize a ship. It's just,
the ship is said Egypt. Egypt says it was owned by a Yemeni businessman.
No, that's the other one. That's the one that was Egyptian flagged. That was owned. That was last week. This is this morning. The LCT. He's showing you the images of it. That's a very different.
I'm reading the same post from the image.
Yeah, does that say the Amir Khan is owned by who? A Yemeni?
The vessel is reportedly owned by a Yemeni businessman, and it was apparently undergoing a maintenance at the Wafer.
Halas. Well, all I
That's
know
what it
is
says.
that
Yeah.
everybody is that OSINT, Egypt OSINT?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Okay. Well, the reports are is that it was actually offloading equipment for the Saudi government. And that's why that port was blasted by ballistic missiles. We'll find out within the next day what the truth is. Because, they lie like rugs. Next, Jazan, of course, the Jazan oil refinery was struck again last night and started multiple fires around the refinery. That is not going to help things. That's in Saudi Arabia, literally a few kilometers from the Houthi border.
Yeah.
It's the
Right.
rocket
Yeah.
scientist who said, let's put one down here next to the
Mm-hmm.
hillbilly Houthis. They won't ever do anything. Well, they did something. They set fire to the facility again. Now, Jacob,
Yeah.
Syrian Air Force.
Yeah. Syrian Air Force. Apparently, the Israelis struck what they call the Syrian Air Force, which essentially is a couple of very rundown planes that they've tried to get up again. So I think it's a bit of a stretch to call it an air force, but it's been struck by the Israelis. From what I've seen, it's up near Idlib, all the way up here. Can you confirm that, Malcolm?
Yeah, in fact, I know so much about those airplanes in that stupid ass base. I spent
Yeah.
years having to watch that dumbass activity of the Syrian Air Force. Okay, the thing is, when the Syrian government collapsed, a lot of all of its resources fell to this new central government, which is run by malicious warlords and terrorists under the authority of Abu Jalani, who is what's his real name? Al-Shara,
Ahmed al-Sham.
Ahmed al-Shara.
Ahmed al-Shara. He was a former Al Qaeda and ISIS commander who joined the Al Nusra Front, which was
Yeah.
Saudi backed Al Qaeda light command or terrorist force that was fighting in the Idlib area. And then when the government collapsed, they were the largest force. They took over. And we knew those guys because those were the guys who had TOW anti-tank guided missiles that the Saudis gave them. Right? And they were blasting things with those missiles.
Yeah.
That government now has taken control of all the former regime resources in Syria, including the rudimentary, what was left over after the Israelis bombed it, Syrian Air Force, flying Su-22 fitters, man. Su-22 fitters. These planes are from the 60s, and they're very groovy, man. Very groovy.
Yeah.
And a couple of MiG-21s and a couple of ancient ass MiG-23 aircraft. So MiG-21 fish bed, MiG-23 Fulcrums. These are just ridiculous. Not Fulcrums. Flogger aircraft. Fulcrums MiG-29. Anyway, there's like 4 of them survived the whole war. And the Syrians said, hey, let's get those pilots back up. Let's get them back into operational shape. This will give us capacity to have air power. And so last week, we reported this on this show. These Su-22s, MiG-21s, and MiG-23 did some test flights, especially the Su-22s. The Su-22s were built in the middle of the Cold War. They're very strong, like Bull aircraft. But they're shit, okay? They are not worth nothing. They die quickly. To give you an idea, in 1982, the Israeli Air Force shot down like 78 Syrian Air Force MiG-23s, MiG-21s, MiG-25s, and Su-22 fitters. Their only claim to fame is that they can actually take off, fly in the air, and like they did under Bashar al-Assad, those aircraft dropped the chemical weapons on Damascus and other cities.
Few times.
Because it's really easy when there's no one chasing you.
Yeah, fly.
So they can be used domestically, but in an actual war against another state. they will be
I mean,
very
the United
fucking close
States
to
did put a
useless.
red line a few times, and they kept ignoring that red line.
Yeah, that was President Obama, was about dropping, the use of chemical weapons in Damascus against their enemies. And Obama's red line, and at the time I was very vocal about this. My red line was very simple. Take the Syrian Air Force off the table as a strategic asset for the Syrian government. You want to drop chemicals? You're going to have to come up there in a donkey cart and throw them or something. But Obama didn't listen because he wanted to be the nice guy and do everything legally. And he said, I'm going to Congress for authorization. And Congress would not give him authorization because the black guy wanted to do it. So you know how that is. If the black guy wants to do it, it can't be done. But then Trump, I remember, what was it? Was it Obama or was it Trump? No, it was Trump finally struck the chemical weapons. No, they didn't strike the chemical weapons. They called the Russians, told them they were going to strike this airbase. They hit 3 Su-22 fighter bombers, left the chemicals completely untouched, and said, look, we did what Obama couldn't do. All right?
Yeah.
These aircraft are fucking ancient. It's like saying, I have a Model T Ford and bringing out a tow truck for it. So the Israelis decided Syria cannot have any aircraft, and they made it clear 2 days ago that it was unacceptable that the former terrorists who now hang out with Donald Trump have any air force. So last night, they didn't destroy the aircraft. They destroyed the runway.
Yeah.
They bombed the runway for Israeli aircraft. But let me rephrase that. Unidentified aircraft flying F-16s and F-35 just came over and bombed the runway and destroyed the runway and left the aircraft there.
Just to underline how shallow all this is, Donald Trump's pick for national intelligence director, Tulsi Gabbard, disputes that Bashar al-Assad used chemical weapons. So, just to underline that this is
apologist for the Syrian government
nuts.
at the time. They estimate they may have killed as many as 10,000 people. There's videos of children choking to death on fucking nerve gas. And she's like, well, there wasn't anything there. And this is when she was allegedly a Democrat, but was actually a secret Republican who worked against Obama and gave the Syrian government a cover for mass murder of women and children with nerve gases. Holy cow. So that's where we are today. They don't have they still have an air force. They still have 4 planes. They just can't fly because the Israelis yesterday blew up the runway as a warning. Next, you know what's coming next, right? They're going to blow up
these planes are not useful against any of their neighboring countries, to be honest.
No. But it's ridiculous to call it a threat.
The Israelis are probably going to say, hey, listen, they could have flown down to the fucking Golan Heights and bombed those 3 Israeli settlers that keep coming into that Syrian village and claiming it as part of Israel. You never know. Yikes.
Right.
Israel is capable of taking that plane as soon as it takes off.
Wallahi, why would you take the plane when it takes off when you can just destroy it in its hangar? They're sitting right there.
I'm just saying, if they know when it takes off whatever they want, why destroy it now? Because there's no real threat.
Because the Israelis want no aircraft in all the hands of any of their opponents, which is why they're freaking out over this Turkish F-35 deal, right?
But Al-Julani has been so far very accommodating with Israel.
No, he's been very accommodating with Trump, which is a different thing, right? He's guy in a suit. He wants the money. Money is available. What do you say?
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is that concerning al-Sharaa, the jury is still out. Back in the day, Ronald Reagan had the expression trust but verify.
Trust but verify.
And it seems that the Israelis will have none of that, and they'll just keep Syria as a failed state, and that's also why they're making incursions into southern Syria and doing these bombings against leftover military assets that hardly has any impact on the conventional threat towards Israel. But it's just a way that the current Israeli government is keeping conflict alive to legitimize their look upon things. That is really it, because Al-Sarraj has actually signaled that he wants accommodation with Israel, regardless of his very dubious past. And like you, Malcolm, I've chased that guy, and there was a shift years ago when Al-Sarraj Jilani created the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, and they broke off, and it seems that he pulled back from this global conflict outlook, and there are also indications that he actually helped Western intelligence with some operations. Now, this intelligence could have been
first off,
been gathered in other ways, but at least there were some strikes against really bad guys.
The HTS, Harakat al-Tahrir al-Sham, right, which is the Movement for the Liberation of Syria. Al-Sham is their word for Syria. Collective Levantine, actually, it's the Levant. The guy worked for Saudis. I mean, he worked for the Saudis. All of his equipment came from Saudi Arabia, and this is why the Turks hate him, because he's not a Turkish-backed guy. But now he apparently, because he accommodated Saudi Arabia, he works for Trump. And this is why Trump is trying to get him to invade Lebanon to take Hezbollah from the rear while the Israelis come at him from the front with the Lebanese army, supposedly. So
and while the Iraqi militia comes there.
Oh, gosh, it could get that in every direction. That's okay. He's got the Israeli Air Force flying,
Imagine you start getting paid and you start like building shit, and then someone's like, forget about that. Let's go destroy your stuff again. The Syrians have had more than 10 years of war, and the Western world have made peace with Ahmed al-Shara for one reason only: to send all the refugees back to Syria. Let's just be clear.
Yeah, but that's the problem. They ain't going back. I mean, this is a bizarre thing, considering it was the Turks who let all those Syrians come through Turkey and send them off to Greece. I think their image was, let's destabilize Greece. Most of them went to Germany to replace the Turks that have been there for over 100 years. Right now, there's a Turkish population, the population of Germany that used to do all the scut work, right, who used to do all the basic fundamental street cleaning, hotels, things like that, was always Turks, because the Turks were allied with the Kaiser's Germany in World War I, and many Turks were allowed to emigrate there. And that's where doner kebab in Germany was almost my main meal when I lived in Germany. I lived in Augsburg. I lived in Baden-Baden. We used to go to Kaiserslautern all the time. This is just one of those things that's part of their culture now, the Turkish culture. Now it's Syrians. And I hear this exact same bitching about the Syrians in Germany that I heard Germans bitch about the Turks. Right?
I don't know if you saw, but the German chancellor signed an agreement with the Turkish president, with the Syrian new leader, and it was about the Syrian criminals would be all sent back to Syria. That was an agreement that was actually signed. So, like, there is actual attempts. The diplomatic relations with the new Syrian regime government is based on, we'll give you funding so you can grow your government for stability, but we're counting on you to take your people back, especially the criminal ones.
I think one of the things Jelani is very interested in is what what happened to Turkey, which was you have this entire diaspora living in Europe, right, sending back used BMWs, who are actually sending an enormous amount of money home. And I think the Syrians in Germany aren't going home to Syria. They're not. They'll go visit Syria, but the Syrian government is hoping they will bring their investment money that they made from becoming, not joking, street sweepers, maids, hand car wash guys. You go to Germany, that's the jobs they're doing. I've met a boatload of Syrians over there, and they always find it amusing that I speak Syrian dialect, right? So you meet them and they're doing the jobs I saw traditionally. All the garbage men in Germany throughout my 1980s, 90s, and 2000s were Turks. They're all Syrians now. Not a one. The Syrian mafia has taken, or let me rephrase that. The Turks have sold those jobs to the Syrians, and they are now integrating into society. They are paying rent. They are getting, getting cars and all the rest of that stuff, and they're sending that money home to Syria. Jelani needs that diaspora to stay in Europe, and the Turks, of course, they don't care anymore because their country is developed enough to where they don't want to do sweet streeter jobs and things like that in Europe. But most of those Syrians are in Germany. And I think that the German government likes the idea, that they can send back the criminals, people who came over and committed crimes back to Syria, and the Jolani government can bring those guys back. It's really the pathways of cash and used BMWs. They love them some used BMWs, boy. They love used BMWs.
Yeah.
Well, you have to also understand for the first time, Syrians in Syria are allowed to sell their product to the rest of the world.
Going the other direction, yeah. The only thing I
Yeah.
used to buy out of Syria was those nice mother of pearl wood chairs.
Oh my God.
And the Diwan cushions, right? That you have for the Diwan. He's probably got it. He's probably got one of those engraved boxes or something. Okay, so somebody says their grandfather's 100% German. I am 28%. Actually, I think I'm 24% West European Germanic and Scottish. Somebody go figure that one out. But even more funny, I'm like 48% Malian. Like, what? Those are the slave
Malian.
traders. Some Malian guy went down to Nigeria, sold us over to South Carolina, y'all.
Not Liberia.
Not at all. 0% Liberia. Yep. There you go.
You mean stuff like that?
Makes me want to be in Damascus and have a Turkish coffee. That's what that box makes me want to do. Okay, so that is it. The Syrian Air Force is discombobulated by the Israelis who have destroyed the runway at Deir ez-Zor Air Force. Now, this is interesting. The word on the Israeli street is they don't like the idea of any Turkish-backed government or group having any air power whatsoever. And they see Jolani as an asset of the Turks. Well, if you were to destroy that airbase, if I was the Turks, I wouldn't give the Syrian fighters. I'd tell them to just scrap them, sell them off for scrap. I'd give them a shitload of drones. You want to make the Israelis sweat. And so I don't know what Israel is thinking, but their whole attitude is no one can have any air power except us. Speaking of air power, except us, Iraq. The Iraqi Air Force F-16 IQ variant, right, which is actually a very nice looking aircraft, carried out airstrikes yesterday in the vicinity of Kirkuk. If you could, I don't know if you can show that on your
Yeah.
part of Iraq. There you go, Kirkuk.
Up here, Baghdad here, Kirkuk up here.
I spent a lot
the
of time
Turkish area here.
That's Kurdish.
Erbil here.
Yeah, the last Iraqi town you go through is Kirkuk before you get to the wall, the Great Wall of Kurdistan. there is actually a defensive wall up there between Kurdistan and Iraq. Let me rephrase that: between Iraqi Kurdistan and the rest of Iraq. Right? If
Yeah.
I say Kurdistan, the Turks will invade. The Iraqis struck
And
ISIS safe houses in Kirkuk. Now, interesting thing. What's that town just south of Kirkuk towards Baghdad? Begins with an M.
Mosul?
No,
no, Mosul is up north.
just south of Baghdad. That stretch between Baghdad and Kirkuk. There's a stretch of road that's closer to Kirkuk, and it's not Cortuba.
You mean Muqtadiya? Or?
No. That's in the south.
No,
Anyway,
no. There's Muqtadiya up here as well.
okay. No, I'm not talking about Muqtadiya. Anyway, that area used to be ISIS's because it's sort of rural, even though you're on the road there. That used to be ISIS and Al Qaeda in Iraq's sort of vacation spot. And
Really?
And then, when we would drive that route in our armored vehicles, it was 100 miles per hour. We just no stopping.
Yeah.
For practice, they would just fire on the roads.
Get
And
out of there.
then when we got to Kirkuk, we were like, oh, we can chillax because, the Iraqi army is here. But that little gap between Baghdad and Kirkuk was adventurous.
Yeah.
So,
You mean Bakuba?
Bakuba. Yeah, Bakuba. Bakuba. That's ISIS Al Qaeda territory.
Yeah,
That was
Bakuba was nasty. Bakuba was nasty.
Always hot.
But I think what our listeners should understand is Kirkuk is very, very special. Why? Because it has a lot of oil in this area, and also the fact that it is very, very split between Arabs, Turkmen, and Kurds.
Yeah.
And also between Sunni and Shia. So there's this whole divide amongst all the ethnic groups, especially. So it's literally a powder keg and super, fascinating like that because of how diverse it is.
I'm certain they weren't hitting in Kirkuk. They were probably hitting in Bakuba, which is very close to Kirkuk. Anyway, the Iraqi Air Force
Bakuba is closer to Baghdad than Kirkuk, but anyway.
Well, the Iraqi Air Force...
Bakuba's here. Baghdad here, Bakuba here, Kirkuk up here.
Oh, wow. Okay, khalas. Well, anyway, the Iraqis think ISIS is reforming in that area nearer to Kirkuk, and they struck safe houses yesterday using air power, which I find very strange because the Iraqi special forces and the Iraqi police SWAT, they are just as good as anything we have. Maybe not as good as Delta Force, but they fucking did about 1 million raids with them. I mean, those guys, they love kicking down doors. They love kicking down some doors. And they have been, and anybody who is old hand like me, who survived all those raids is a badass. They are without any question the single best special force in the Middle East, except the Israelis. Period.
Yeah.
They just got way too much combat experience. And besides, if you survive battling ISIS out of your country when suicide car bombs are being thrown at you, you're doing pretty good in your career, or you're learning to play back. Okay.
But an interesting point also on Iraq, Malcolm, is the fact that yesterday Kataib Hezbollah came out and say, we will not be demobilized, will not lay down our arms as long as the U.S. is still in Iraq. Right. And I suspect also that some of the other hardline factions like Nujaba will say the same thing. So there's a lot of stuff going on now.
Hezbollah is one of the first Iranian-backed Iraqi militias. I remember those guys popping up back in Jesus Christ, 2004, 2004. 2004. And, we were like, because the name is confusing, right? The Hezbollah brigades. And we're like, no, not Hezbollah, Iraqi Hezbollah. So we have to keep referring to them as Iraqi Hezbollah brigade.
Exactly.
Hey,
Yeah.
There's also
one quick.
there is also okay.
Linda Wajeeh from Germany, who's on this show every day, says about Syrians. Syrian physicians make up 1 to 1.3% of all practicing doctors in Germany, totaling over 6,000 to 7,000 registered individuals. They form the single largest nationality amongst foreign doctors in Germany. There's a job you're going to see the Germans go, hey, wait. Maybe you guys shouldn't go back to Syria. Syria needs them, but it's one of those things.
Yeah, and nurses, the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, listen, let's.
You can't talk about Iraq without talking about some militias and Iraq military that is directly backed by the IRGC. And has some scary figures like Abu Zaid.
Yeah. Well, we know that all of these Heshid Shabi groups are backed by the IRGC and are equipped through the battle brigades, and they have IRGC advisors with all of them.
But I think Badr are amongst the organizations that are more favorable towards these mobilization plans. And that's what we talked about the other day. You have this whole pressure by the more radical elements, the Kataib, Hezbollah, the Nujaba, to put pressure on Badr, and that was where we saw the head of the Badr organization come out and really appeal for calm, that these more radical groups shouldn't attack Saudi Arabia, for instance. So there's a lot of stuff going on now internally amongst the Shia militia in Iraq.
Okay. Wow, I thought we had posted day 37 chat, and apparently it did not take. So what I'm going to do is, because Jacob, of course, has to enjoy the wilds. Oh, we lost Wajeeh there really quickly.
Yes, that's why.
And because since we lost Wajeeh, and I have to have a crown go put in from my relative, we're going to hold off on the questions. I'm going to put it up in the chat, and I will be answering questions all day. I answered a boatload of questions yesterday, and we will put up the picture of Trump's new U.S. territory, which, according to him, is not only the Strait of Hormuz, it's like all of northern Oman and all of southern Iran. So
I'm sure they won't mind. It's
they're raising the flags right now, right? It'll be those half U.S. Iran flags, right? Yeah. What is that going? Meant for the Mountain said, I have traveled to Syria and must say that people are generous and kind. I hate that they have suffered so much violence and turmoil. And I agree with you. I've been to Syria, did operations in Syria. So it's just one of those places. But I got a lot of Syrian souvenirs you would find hilarious, Jacob. Just hilarious. Considering they were from Bashar al-Assad's dad.
I haven't brought my Iraqi souvenirs. I have to remember to do that.
Well, I have a nice have a live show of
Saddam souvenir.
One of these days we got to have a show of what's in your cabinet, right? Because we got all that stuff hidden away in our cabinet. And I have a very colorful character. I have a portrait of Saddam I got from a merchant ship that I boarded. Now, did I say merchant ship? An oil smuggling ship that I boarded. And in the bridge wing, or in the bridge, they had this wood surrounded portrait of Saddam Hussein. And I took it. I was like, coming with me. And I still have that Saddam Hussein. It's very fun. Took it off that merchant ship. God, I think I have photos of when we actually took that picture, because I was taking pictures of everything. So, we've got lots of fun stuff there and a fun story. Yes, Jacob.
Malcolm, now that I remember it, I have to say, I'll be out tomorrow and Thursday not doing family things. It's the thing is, I'm recording a TV, documentary or a trial thing for Danish radio about like a sit room, with with a situation room.
Wow.
Where something happens, and then I'm going to be the nasty intelligence guy, and there'll be all these other emergency situation guys and military guys, and I just have to be the intelligence guy saying, but this is going to happen. This is going to happen.
I love these scenarios. That's great. Well, Wajeeh says that he dropped out. He was dropped out by the thing, so we don't know. I have to go have a dental procedure done, and we've pretty much gone through it was a very slow day in the Middle East. Just, airstrikes in the Strait of Hormuz, airstrikes in Yemen, airstrikes in Iraq, airstrikes in Syria. A very, very slow day. So we will see you all tomorrow. If you're watching this on YouTube, you missed it. This is the live recording on Substack at malcolmnance.substack.com. Come become a member. And if you are on YouTube and you are not a subscriber, just hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. We are up to 180,000 followers now, trying to get up to 250,000 followers. So, Jacob, I will see you in a couple of days. Enjoy your time.
See you on Friday.
Wait room. All right.
See you on Friday.
See you then. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.